Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Muhammad Nazirul bin Hassan Basari. My metric number is B0918100103. I'm from Faculty of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering Technology and my course is BMMH. My supervisor is Technologist Amir Abdullah bin Muhammad Damanhuri. Today I want to present Final Year Project 1. My title for the final year project is Investigation of Thermal Comfort for Temporary Evacuation Center in Tropical Climate at Melaka. In my presentation, I will share 8 items. First is introduction, second is problem statement, third is objective, then scope, the literature review, the methodology, expected result, last but not least is reference. Okay. For the next slide is the introduction. The introduction for my research is Malaysia has faced many disasters. One of the disasters is flood. It because Malaysia faced 2 monsoon wind season. The southwest monsoon from late May to September and the northeast monsoon from October to March. This monsoon will bring heavy rain to several states in Malaysia. Flood disaster occur due to heavy rain. That result will increase the water level in major river and it cause the river water to overflow in some area. In figure 1, the green color show the area of flood. Because of that, the temporary evacuation center need to be opened for the flood victim involved. It allows the victim to be in a safe and comfortable place. There are some places that are used as flood evacuation center, such as school, multipurpose halls, mosque, and community halls. Figure to show the condition of the victim at the evacuation center. Next is the problem statement. The problem statement for my research is the condition at the temporary evacuation center is too hot. It because the area are too crowded with the flood victim. When the situation happen, it will make the thermal comfort in the area are not comfortable. Not only that, the health also will affect. It will make the quality of people work will decrease. Okay. Next is objectives. There are 2 objectives for my research. First is to investigate selected indoor parameters that influence to the thermal comfort at temporary evacuation center in Melaka. Second is to assess predicted mean worth PMV and predicted percentage of desertified PPD for selected Melaka temporary evacuation center using CBE thermal comfort tool. For my scope, this research will conduct at selected temporary evacuation center in Melaka. I will define the factor to maintain thermal comfort at evacuation center. For environment factor is air temperature, mean radiant temperature, relative humidity, and velocity. For hormone factor is clothing and activity. Next is literature review. The temporary evacuation center are placed for victims for natural disaster. In my research, there are 2 places considered as temporary evacuation center. First is school, second is community hall. Based on the table 1, there is a list of evacuation center in Melaka Tengah. There is 12 of school and 2 is community hall. The capacity of each of the evacuation center is different. It because the area of the evacuation center is not same. Next slide is thermal comfort is a mental state that conveys happiness with the thermal environment. The satisfaction of the people in the room are affected from the factor thermal comfort. For environment, there is 4 factors of thermal comfort. First is air temperature. The temperature inside a building is affected by the season and the number of people in the building. The air temperature will differ based on the place of evacuation center. Second is mean radiant temperature. The temperature of a uniform black enclosure that exchange the same amount of heat radiation with the resident as the rear enclosure. Mean radiant temperature will depend on the heat at the area of the evacuation center. Third is air velocity, the average speed of the air to which the body is exposed in terms of place and time. Air velocity also depends on the fan in the area. Next is relative humidity, the amount of water vapor pressure in the air that affects a person's evaporative heat loss. The relative humidity will depend on weather. If weather is hot, the relative humidity is low, but if weather is cool, the relative humidity will be high. Okay. For the next is a hormone factor. There is two factors. First is clothing. The clothes will maintain a thermal balance between the skin and the environment. Next is activity. Heat that produced inside our bodies as we carry out physical activity. It means when we do the activity, we will produce the heat, and when heat that produce, heat will affect the thermal comfort when at the area. Okay. For the thermal comfort, it has two international standards that need to be used. First is ASHRAE Standard 55, Thermal Environment Condition for Human Occupancy. Second is CEN Standard EN 15251, Indoor Environment Input Parameter for Design and Assessment for Energy Performance of Building addressing indoor air quality, thermal environment, lighting, and acoustics. Next slide is methodology. Based on the research flowchart, I will do the literature review, then site selection, after that building characteristic, and take a indoor sampling and use a CBE thermal comfort to find the result. And for the site selection, I will select Melaka Tengah in Melaka. Then the building characteristic, I choose the selected school in Melaka. Table to show the parameter of class. Okay, the dimension of class is 9144 mm times 7350 mm. The window is 600 mm times 1211 mm. That is 20 set of window. And the fan, it has a 3 unit. For the door, the dimension is 1250 mm times 1828 mm. It has a 2 set. The parameter of this is only for one class. For indoor sampling, I will take a 4 parameter. First is air temperature. For air temperature, I will use thermometer. The thermometer will put in the class. Second is relative humidity. For relative humidity, I will use sling psychrometer to get the value. Next is air velocity. For air velocity, I will use anemometer. Anemometer will put in the class for at several places. And next is mean radiant temperature. For mean radiant temperature, I will use globe temperature. For this data, I will take several heads. It because human body has a several sensitive and it has a different head. Of this data will be taken from 10 AM to 4 PM. This is because that time the most climate time to see the situation in the room. Data will take every 10 minutes. Simply it as a standard parameter that need to be used. Okay. For first parameter is air temperature. The acceptable range is 23 Celsius to 26 Celsius. For relative humidity, it can be set 40% to 70%. for air movement or air velocity is 0.50 meter per second to 0.50 meter per second. Next slide is CBE thermal comfort 2. This CBE we use to get the PMV and PPD parameter. Okay, first I will insert the data. I will select the method that we use and then insert the air temperature that get from the sampling and then insert the value of air duct speed or air velocity, then inside the data of relative humidity. After that, for metabolic rate, I will choose at the right column. In the right column, it show all of the activity that can be used or can be choose. Okay, next is clothing level. Clothing level also same as a metabolic rate. I will choose at the right column. At the right column, as many of the clothing level, I only choose it. Depend on the situation. Next is the graph. The graph shows the comfortable area. The blue color is a comfortable area. The red dot is show that the room in a comfortable area. When the red dot is out of the blue area, it means the room is not in the comfortable. Above the graph is a value of PMV and PPD. The value of PMV we get after inside all the data. The value of PMV will show that the room in a cool or hot. If the value of PMV below than 0, it means the room in a cool condition. But if the PMV above of 0, it means the PMV in a hot condition. The comfortable condition for room is between 91 to 1. The PPD value is depend on the PMV result. Slide is a expected result. Based on the research, the thermal comfort in room will be in a comfortable. The value of PMV and PPD in the comfortable zone. The data will be in standard parameter. Last is reference. This is a several reference I use to do this research. And that's all from me. Thank you.